Okay, we are set and ready to go. We are now recording and live.
Okay, thank you so much, Santiago. Good morning, everyone. It is 10:04 a.m. Today, I'm calling to order. This will be considered an informational meeting of the board. Want to start off and note, thinking of all of our friends and neighbors and family in Southern California as they're dealing with a very horrific fire situation. Out of an abundance of caution, we have two of our LA board members joining us remotely today, given the situation down there in the state of emergency, both statewide and locally. So I will go through, Santiago, I apologize. Do we have an interpreter today?
We do not.
Okay, all right. I wasn't sure. Sorry about that. We're going to go through the roll. Board member Flores.
Present.
Thank you. Board member Hall.
Present.
Thank you. Board member Lightstone.
Present.
Thank you. Okay. We will be deferring approval of minutes until the next meeting. There is no chair's report today. We will go straight to the executive officer's report on elections, unfair labor practice complaints, and hearings.
Thank you. And good morning again, Chair Hofstede and members of the board. For today's report that covers the period from our last board meeting to the present, involves seven complaints that I've issued over a period of, I think, about 10 days. So I'll start with the first, which is issued on December 17th. And I may be mispronouncing this, but it's Nagatashi Farm, Inc., case number 2023 CE 050 SAL. And that involves okra in Los Angeles County. The next is Mars Farms, involving blackberries in Ventura County, and that complaint issued on December 18th, 2024. That case number is 2023-CE-031 SAL. Next, we have a pair of complaints that issued December 23rd. The first, Grimway Enterprises, Inc., involving lettuce in Kern County. And the second, CYMA Orchids Corporation, and that involves orchids and succulents in Ventura County. For both of those case numbers and for the report itself, you can find on our website at alrb.ca.gov under the meetings tab. Next complaint that was issued was December 20th. That involved the wine group. There, it's a consolidated complaint involving grapes in Fresno County, and that case number is 2023-CE009-VIS et al. Next, Diorigo Brothers and Fence of California and Fanciful Company, Inc., two respondents involving cauliflower in Monterey County, and that issued on December 20th. That case number is 2023-CE-043 SAL. And then finally, Beteravia Farms, LLC, case number 2023-CE-014 SAL, that involves cauliflower in Santa Barbara County, and that's an amended complaint that was filed yesterday. The original complaint was filed on December 30th. That concludes my report, and happy to answer any questions.
Thank you, Santiago. I don't have any questions. Do any of my colleagues? Okay, great. Next, we will go on to the litigation report from Chief Board Counsel Laura Hike. Laura?
And hold just a moment while I promote her line.
Thank you, Santiago.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
I can hear you.
Okay. So we have a few updates and one new matter. In the case in the Fifth District Court of Appeal that involves the ALRB and the UFW's petitions for writ of mandate challenging the Superior Court's denial of the ALRB's demurrer. That's case number F088632 / F088639, ALRB versus Superior Court of Kern County. At the end of November, Wonderful filed responses to the ALRB and UFW's petitions for writ of mandate. The ALRB filed a reply to Wonderful's response on December 24th, 2024. The UFW also filed a reply around the same time, and that matter is now fully briefed. In the other matter in the Fifth District, this is case number F088515 / F088520, Wonderful Nurseries LLC versus ALRB. This is the ALRB's and UFW's appeals of the Superior Court's order granting preliminary injunction. At the last board meeting, there was the status was that on December 6th, the Fifth District issued an order granting in part and denying in part Wonderful's motion for calendar preference. They denied Wonderful's request for expedited briefing, but ordered that the matter would be heard on the first available oral argument calendar once fully briefed. And so that means now that the board's brief in this matter is due January 21st. And then the new matter is on December 30th, a new lawsuit against the board was filed in U.S. District Court for the Eastern District of California. That's Wonderful Nurseries LLC versus ALRB et al. Case number 124-CV-01601-CDB. The board was served with that lawsuit on January 3rd. The complaint in that matter alleges that the board's enforcement of the mandatory mediation conciliation process in the Wonderful case violates due process and equal protection clauses of the 14th Amendment, seeks a declaration that the MMC statute is unconstitutional on its face, and also seeks injunctive relief. The board's answer is due 21 days after service, and that makes it due on January 24th, 2025. And that's all I have.
All right, thank you, Laura, very much. Do any of my colleagues have any questions? Okay, we'll go right to the General Counsel's report with General Counsel Julie Montgomery.
Good morning and Happy New Year to board chair and board members. I actually have a number of settlements to report on this morning. Our staff have been very busy the last month, despite the holidays. They were still working away to resolve cases, and a number of them settled. So it's very exciting. The first case is Cooley Enterprises, Inc., which a tomato harvester in Solano County filed a charge in June of 2024, alleging that the company, along with a farm labor contractor, retaliated against agricultural workers for exercising their rights to speak up about concerns working in extreme heat and for walking off the field on such a day where there was high heat. The parties reached a settlement with the ALRB on December 11th, in which Cooley agreed to standard noticing remedies and to compensate the six workers who, there were 6 workers who walked off the job for their lost wages resulting from their termination. And that total is $2,166. And just, I want to mention that the employer did offer reinstatement after the charge was filed, and ALRB staff reached out and they were able to get reinstatement. So it was a lower back pay amount for that reason. And this is a case where we have been collaborating with other labor agency departments who also have had pending matters. There was a citation against this company issued by OSHA a couple of months ago. So this has been a good collaborative effort with our sister departments. We also settled a couple of charges filed against Misionero Company and Hacienda Farm Services, Inc., involving 2 lettuce workers in Monterey County who filed charges alleging that their employers threatened workers in the crew with disciplinary action, including possible termination for speaking up on behalf of themselves and others about working conditions, and also a charge was filed that the employer retaliated against the charging party by issuing her disciplinary tickets and changing her work conditions because she asked for shade for the crew. And parties entered into a pre-complaint settlement to resolve both of these charges, and the company has agreed to rescind 2 disciplinary tickets that were issued to the charging parties, and there will be reading and standard noticing remedies, which will also advise employees that there is no policy prohibiting them from discussing workplace issues with one another, raising concerns to management, and that explicitly stating that workers will not be disciplined or terminated for doing so. And the company did agree to compensate one of the charging parties for lost wages, which was a very small amount, like a little under $35, but that was the amount of back wages. And then also our Region 1 settled 6 charges against Bonnie Plants, LLC. And this have involved a number of allegations over a span of time in 2023. And it started out with 5 nursery workers in Santa Cruz County, alleging that the company interfered with their rights to participate in protected activity when the company's agents told them that their questions about their work conditions were negative and disturbed the peace. And thereafter, their work volume was increased. Workers were excluded from instructions about work who were involved in the, in the concerted activity. And workers were told they could not talk to each other after they complained about a clock out policy, as well as mistreatment by their forewoman. Workers also subsequently filed charges that the company laid them off and failed to rehire them due to these complaints. And then additional workers filed charges that the company retaliated against various workers by laying them off and failing to rehire them after they complained again about additional mistreatment of the forewoman and alcohol use. And then there are a lot of charges here. And there was another charge that the workers' hours were reduced, as well as they were denied overtime in retaliation for filing charges. And so the ALRB did enter into a pre-complaint settlement with Bonnie Plants, got a bilateral informal agreement involving all the noticing remedies, and also they will compensate 8 workers for a total amount of $114,000. And that does include some payments for in lieu of reinstatement, as well as back pay. And then finally, we have a settlement involving Writer Brothers in Ventura County. Strawberry harvester there filed a charge claiming she was retaliated against along with a coworker because they participated in a work stoppage with their coworkers, and as a result, they were assigned to fields that had less work and I'm thinking like less piecework or fewer berries, so that they weren't able to earn the same level of wages. And the work stoppage involved a request to get a wage raise. And they also complained about being assigned to lower producing fields and that their work was being scrutinized more closely. And they also complained about preferential treatment certain workers. And the parties entered into a pre-complaint bilateral agreement for all of the noticing remedies and amounts to the workers. One worker got $5,428 and the other $5,847. And I did not add those totals up. So, but 11,000-ish or 12,000, whatever it is, for those workers. So kudos to all of our staff. Oh, and Ryder was filed. It was a 2023 charge. But I don't have the month on here, but it's probably, yeah, mid-year from the case number. So anyway, kudos to our staff for all their great work and for settling these matters during what is always a busy time of year for us. And then just there's a lot of outreach going on as well, or for December. There's like 8 different events that Danielle, our outreach manager, sent me, but I'll just real briefly mention there was staff tabling at Oaxacan Community Shed in Santa Cruz County, office hours in Poder Popular in Santa Paula and rural Ventura County. There was a Líderes Campesinas holiday event that our staff attended in Kern County, where they did outreach and distributing materials. Also at a food distribution in Madera County. And our staff participated in the Virtual Farm Worker Services Coalition of Imperial County, hosted by EDD. And that concludes my report. Happy to answer any questions.
Great, thank you. No questions on my end. I don't see any from our colleagues. We do not have a Division of Administrative Services report today or a legislative report. I'll briefly check in with Board Member Lightstone and our Chief Board Counsel. Any update on the regulations or any report to share?
I think I think Laura may be able to add something to that, but I think it's ready to go to OEL.
Oh,
The package is
Wonderful.
ready to go. It's almost got a ribbon on it.
Wonderful. Any other updates? Laura?
No, yes, you're right, Ralph. We still need to put the ribbon on it, but it's otherwise complete.
Great, thank you. Wonderful, great work. Next, we'll go to public comment. Our public comment, for those of you who participated in other meetings, is a little bit different today. So if you are participating via Zoom, the only way to indicate public comment and so that you can be unmuted is to use the raise hand feature in the Zoom application. For those of you that are possibly participating only via phone, not through the Zoom application on a phone, you will need to email Satya or Santiago, and their emails are listed on the agenda in order to make public comment, just with our technical capabilities. So I'll pause for a moment to see, is there anyone in the queue, Santiago?
There is not, and I'm reviewing the attendee list and I don't see any hands up.
Okay, give it a moment.
I'm confirming no hands have gone up.
Okay, all right, with that, we will conclude what is our informational session. One update for announcements, our next board meeting will be 2 weeks from today. And let me just double check that calendaring. So that'll be January 22nd. Okay, thank you very much, everyone. Happy New Year.